Hi guys, in this two-part video tutorial series we are going to create a ref link system. So let me show you exactly what we are going to build. I'm going to access the Django administration in order to grab my unique ref code, and I'm going to simply copy it. And now I'm going to log out from the Django administration. I'm going to access the home page again, but this time I'm going to add this ref link. So right now what I'm going to do is to hit create an account. I'm going to put in test user 2. I'm going to set a password and confirm the password and press sign up. And now we have test user 2. So let's see in the Django administration what actually happened. So I'm going to log in again. And let's go to the profiles. And this is the user that has been created. So let's take a look at it. And here we have that this user has been recommended by me. And this is exactly what we are going to build. So right now, if I grab this code and I'm going to simply log out, go to the home page, and I'm going to add this ref link, this ref code, create an account, test user 3 will be the new user. Let's put some password to sign up. All right, we have test user 3. Let's go to the Django administration, log in again. Let's go to profiles, test user 3, and this test user 3 has been recommended by test user 2. Everything is working. And then if we go to profiles, we will see what users have been recommended to this site by us. So right now I'm logged in as the super user. So if we take a look at the profiles, we have test user recommended by me and test user 2 recommended by me. And this is exactly what we see over here. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so as usual, let's take a look at what have I done so far. And frankly speaking, I didn't do that much. I just started a brand new project called refproj, and currently I'm in the settings py file of this refproj directory. So if we scroll down to the installed apps list, we will notice that I've added profiles. So this is an application that I started for this project purposes. And then if we scroll down again to the templates, here we are telling Django where to look for additional ones. So according to those settings, I created a templates directory in the base directory, and here I placed base HTML. And let's take a look at base HTML. So this is a very simple HTML file with two blocks, block title and block content. I also I created a super user so I can actually log into the Django administration. And here we have a confirmation that everything is working. So right now we can actually proceed, go to profiles and work on the models.py file. Over here, let's create our class. It's going to be called profile and it inherits from models.model, and we need to define a few fields. So the first one is going to be the user, and this is going to be models1to1 field, and we need to import our user model. So from Django contrib auth models, we want to import the user model, and we want to pass it in over here. And then let's specify that on delete, we want to have models cascade. All right, so this is the first field. The other one is going to be, let's put in bio. This is going to be an optional field. So let's just put in models text field. And to make it optional, let's put in blank is equal to true. Then we will have code, and we will generate it with the use of a special function that we are going to place in the utils.py file. This file will be created very soon. So let's put in models char field, and let's set the max length to 12. So the code will contain 12 characters. And let's also place blank is equal to true, because we are going to use the save method. We are going to override the save method to actually get this code. So I'm going to explain this a little bit later. And then we need to have a field recommended by, and this is going to be a model's foreign key. And here we are also going to place the user. So let's also put in on delete is equal to models cascade, and I'm going to put in blank is equal to true, null is equal to true, and I'm going to add a related name, and let's just put in ref by. Okay, so this is going to be the field which is going to be also optional when someone creates an account from other profiles recommendation. Okay, and also let's place updated, and this is going to be a models date time field with auto now is equal to true, and let's place created, and this is going to be models date time field auto now add is equal to true. All right, so let's put in the string representation, and I'm going to use f-string, so return, and we want to place in self username and self code. All right, so this is one thing. Then we are going to have a method that we are going to just put in right now, but we are going to actually apply the logic in the next part, and this is going to be get recommended profiles. This is going to take in a self, and for now I'm just going to put in pass, but I'm going to put this method so we don't forget about it. And then we need to override the save method. So over here, this will take in self args and keyword args, and we want to put in super save args and keyword args. And here what we are going to do is to check if self code is equal to blank, and for now I'm going to put in pass, but here we will place the logic related to our function that we are going to create in the utils.py file. So right now we can actually create this utils.py file, and over here what we need to do is to simply create this function. So I'm going to name it generate ref code, and we are going to define a variable code that is equal to, and now we need to import UID, and we are going to create this code. So UID, and we are going to use UID4, and then what we are going to do is to simply put it into a string, so we can use the replace method. So let's do this string and then replace, and we want to replace this sign to blank, and finally we want to limit it to 12 characters as we defined in our models. So over here we have code with the max length is equal to 12, and this is why we are limiting it with 12. And then finally let's return code. Okay, so right now what we can do is to actually save this and bring it into our models.py. So from .utils we want to import generate ref code, and what we are going to do is to use it over here. So code is equal to generate ref code, and then finally we are going to put in as self code this code over here, and then we are going to simply save it, and this will do the trick. So what we are going to do next is to simply save the models.py file, and we are going to register it in the admin. From .models, we want to import profile and admin site register profile. So now we can also save the admin py, go to the terminal, quit the server from running, Python manage py make migrations, and Python manage py migrate, and Python manage py run server. Alright, so let's refresh and let's create a profile for the user, for the super user. So I'm going to add, I'm going to select my user, I'm going to leave the bio as empty, I'm going to leave the code as empty because it's going to be generated automatically, and the recommended by is going to be also empty. So let's press save and continue editing, and here is the code. Alright, so this is the referral code that we are going to use in order to refer users to this particular site. Okay, and in the next part of this tutorial, we are going to create a post-save signal in order to create a profile whenever a user is created. So if you've taken other tutorials on my channel, especially the Django signals tutorial, I'm sure you can do it on your own. But if you haven't, we will do this together in the next part. So for now, let's go back and let's attack the views.py file. So we are not going to create our main view in the profiles application. Instead, we are going to put it inside the ref project. So we are going to create it directly in the main project folder. So let's create a views.py file. And here we are going to create a function view, which is going to be called main view, which takes in a request. And for now, I'm going to put in pass because we will need to do some imports. So at the top, from Django shortcuts, we want to import render, and also from profiles .models, we want to import profile. All right, so for now, I think this will be enough. Let's begin by just putting return render, and then we need to pass in the request and then the template name. So it's going to be main HTML, and we are going to create it in just a second. And then we are going to have an empty dictionary because we're not going to pass anything to this main HTML. And for now, this is enough because right now I'm going to save this and I'm going to open up the urls.py file. So over here, we need to register our view. So what I'm going to do is to import it first from .views. We want to import our main view, and we will register it twice. So I'm going to explain this in just a second. So let's do it first the ordinary way. I'm going to put in as the main path the main view, and then I'm going to set the name as main view like this, all right? And then we need to do it one more time with the ref code. So I'm just going to copy it and paste it over here. And over here right now, what I'm going to do is to put in strref code. And this is going to be the optional code that can happen. And we will later get it in our main view, all right? So basically we have two case studies. One is without any ref link, so this is the classical approach, and the other one is that someone simply shared a ref link. So we have the main path extended with the ref code, we clicked on it, and right now if we are going to create an account to our profile, it's going to be added the person's profile in the recommended by field. So if we go back to the models.py file again, this recommended by is going to be filled with the user that recommended us this site. And we need to right now take care of this logic. So we need to work on the main view and later in the second part in the signup view. All right, so what I'm going to do is to go back to the URLs.py file. I'm going to save it, and right now we can actually go back to the views.py file. So not in the profiles application, but in the rev.proj. Let's open up views.py, and what we are going to do first is to get the code if it actually exists. So I'm going to create a variable code, and let's put in quarks. So here let's also pass in args and keyword args, and right now we can access with the keyword arguments this ref code. So we are getting the ref code from over here, if it of course exists. And let's make it as a string, just to be sure. And yeah, as the next step, we need to get the profile. And we are going to get the profile by this code. So let's put in profile is equal to profile objects get, and we want to get it by the code. So let's set code to this code over here. All right. And as the next step, let's also be sure that we don't have any errors, because right now we can actually type anything in the link after. So if we go over here, we can type here anything, and this is going to be treated as the code. But then we will have an error because this code won't match any profile. So let's put it in a try except block. All right, so we are going to try to get the profile, and then if we simply have it, we are going to have a request session variable, and I'm going to call it as ref profile, and we are going to set it to the profile ID. Okay, and then let's put in accept, and let's put in pass. Nothing will happen if this doesn't work out for us. And what we can also do over here is to simply do some printouts. So I'm going to put in print request session and then get expiry date. And over here in the try block, I'm going to print the ID, which we are going to pass in to the signup view. So we are going to pick up this session variable in the signup view and then continue the logic over there. So right now I'm going to simply save this. We are going to return to this main view in just a second, but right now what we need to do is to create our main HTML, and we are going to put it directly in this templates folder next to the base HTML. So let's create this main HTML. And first of all, we want to inherit from base HTML. So let's put in extends base HTML, and we have two blocks. Block title first, and I'm just going to put in home, and then block content. And here, let's do a check. So I'm going to write if request user is authenticated. What we are going to do is to display the user. So I'm just going to put in request.user. And in other case, we are going to put in a button that will take us to the sign up page. So let's put in href, and for now I'm going to leave it as blank. And inside we will have a button. And we are using Bootstrap, so we can make a nice blue button, btn primary is the class for this. And let's put here, create an account. And let's close up the button. All right. So yeah, let's try this out. So I'm going to save main HTML. Right, let's go to our page. Let's refresh, and here is the username. So if I'm going to log out, I'm going to hit refresh, and we have create an account. All right, so as the next step, let's actually log in again. I'm going to grab the code, and I'm going to place it in the link. All right, so hopefully you can see this. I'm going to hit refresh right now, and let's go to the terminal. So over here we have the ID, and here is the expiry date. All right, so it's 11th January 2021, and we can also change, for example, this get expiry date to get expiry age. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to hit refresh one more time, and over here this is 2 weeks from now in seconds. All right, so this is working, and I think we can finish off over here. We are going to continue working on this project in the next part, so I'll try to publish it tomorrow, and the next part will be the final part. So hope to see you guys over there. Have a great day, and bye bye.